Now, these are practices that enable high performance. It's no surprise, I think, and it's actually delightful if you've been working like I have as in extreme programming for 15 years now, to see many of the practices we've been using for that in extreme programming appear to be correlated with high performance. This is high performance in the sense of, well, actually, they define high performance, I believe, as doubling whatever internal goals you've set. Not achieving, I think it's doubling whatever, whether that's revenue or profit, whatever your internal outcomes are, whether you meet or get past that is high performance. And these are the practices. So it's continuous delivery, and there's a bunch of stuff around test automation and things. Software architecture, so decoupled modular software architectures. The next thing is product and process. So customer feedback, fast feedback cycles, these kinds of things. Small batches of work, basically flow metrics. Lean management and monitoring. So a lot of the stuff Barry was talking about being outcome focused, not output focused. And then culture. So generative culture, encouraging learning, transformational leadership. A lot of the things, again, Barry was talking about. Here's a fun fact. Change request boards are predictors of low performance. Who's got a change request board? It predicts that you're in a low-performing organization if you've got one. That's and I'm using that precisely. Here's another fun fact. But I'm going to go back to that, actually. Because change request boards are essentially, you're literally giving yourself a heart attack, right? You're just blocking the artery straight there. Right, the flow goes, no. Oh, there it goes again. The next one, outsourcing by job function. Low-performing organizations were 4 times as likely to outsource by job function as high-performing organizations. So that's saying all testing will happen somewhere else, basically. 4 times more likely. But, as I say, there are metrics you can use as leading indicators, as opposed to the trailing ones we're used to of revenue and profit and so on. Leading indicators to monitor health. And these are mean times to recovery, cycle time, so how quickly can we recover from a failure? How quickly do we cycle work, the flow rate? What is the change failure rate? How often do things that we do go wrong? And the number of deployments. And these, as I say, are directly analogous to monitoring blood pressure, heart rate, temperature. By monitoring these and working to improve these, we can improve organizational health. So as I say, these are leading indicators of health. And we can use these to understand how well our organization is in the medical sense, if you like. The next thing I want to talk about, it's a bit depressing, corporate mortality. I mentioned this at the start. It's half-life of 10.5 years on being listed in general. So over a period of about 10.5 years, there'll be 50% churn amongst listed companies per exchange. That's pretty scary. And it's implied by hierarchy. The way we are structured as humans, which is the same as organizations, basically those 3 principles again lead to death. And that's terrible, or terrifying. And the factor that, so with humans, what happens is over time we have to spend so much more of the energy that we consume repairing damage to our cells that eventually we're not able to do that and we die. That's pretty much what aging and mortality is in humans. And this is again predicted by those 3 principles. For organizations, the hypothesis is, because the data is the same, the hypothesis is that it's the fact that innovation slows down. Essentially, we're not spending enough we're not investing enough in innovating within our organizations. And as you do that, innovation, the company becomes solely focused on economies of scale, saving cash. And again, the same hierarchical network effects apply, and this implies mortality. 50% churn over 10.5 years. We also add these processes and constraints as we get older and so on. I'm going to stop depressing you now. But I'm going to conclude by saying, when we organize I'm going to push this point home. Hierarchical organization implies slower metabolism and implies mortality based on data Massive amounts of data collected over the last 20 years.